Hello, everyday leaders. I am back. It is Tuesday night. It is June 2nd. And to deal with the COVID-19, the pandemic, and all the other stuff that's going on in this crazy world, I want to try to bring and deliver more value to you. So here I am, Melanie Ake with Everyday Leaders. And I have a tremendous person that I'm going to share with you tonight. One of my great friends from high school, and we go way back. I'm talking, we were clowns on the McDonald's train car in Greenwood, for those of you that remember the train car. And we're kind of silly, and we really believe a lot of the same things. And I am so excited about her journey. And if you guys remember this week, I posted a little challenge, a hula hoop challenge. And it came from this girl right here. So Karri York, you have always been such an inspiration to me. And thank you for joining me tonight because people really need to start following you.
Well, I appreciate that. And thank you for having me here tonight on this podcast. I am so excited and happy to share a little bit about my journey as a singer and voice teacher and apparently this rising hula hoop champion.
I love this because, so first of all, you're super creative. And when you think about people that have a lot of fears, and we talk about leadership, and it's them saying that they're stuck and they're not able to do anything outside of their comfort zone. And so for us, it's just kind of natural, right? We want to be creative and we want to say, oh, we can do that. And just try a little bit and have faith and put confidence in yourself. And so as a singer, I think that's really important because you have to perform in front of people.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You have to get over that fear. So walk us through that journey because I know you are an instructor, you're a voice teacher, you're doing some amazing things with your concerts that you've put on. And so help people realize, like during the pandemic, they're afraid of a lot of things, but they can relate to you in what you've learned, the steps that you've learned to get over fear.
Okay, I'm not sure that I've totally mastered that, but perhaps I have some strategies to help you. First of all, singing has been one of my lifelong passions. I've always loved singing. I think even from the time I was probably age 3, I knew that I wanted to be a teacher of music, and I sang every single day with my parents. And they taught me how to, sing melody and harmony. And my dad would play the guitar, and we'd sing in churches. And so we had a little traveling gig every weekend. And so I kind of developed my, I guess my sense of confidence at an early age of 3 years old. And especially when they took me out of my box, they put me up on a little chair. And then of course, in a church setting, you'd have this podium. And so they could never see me. And I'd sit up, they would stand me up on the chair, and then they could finally see me. And then we would sing our little trios together. So I think that was one thing that helped me probably later in life to have, more confidence and less fear. Although I think when someone becomes more educated in a skill, you realize how much you don't know. And, you're being critiqued, and you are, realizing that, hey, I need to work a little bit harder than just singing, whatever that I learned when I was age 3. Singing an opera aria takes a lot of effort, and foreign languages are, it's not your natural language, at least not mine. And so I have to work really hard. And the older I get, the harder it is for me to memorize. Mm-hmm. So I would say, in my journey, probably the biggest fear that I've had in singing is memory. And I have to go over words over and over and over. And I still, no matter what I do, how many hours I practice, something always happens where I forget a word and something else comes out. And I'm like, what is that word? I've never sung that word before. So it's just going through that process and making sure that you've practiced those strategies to get where you need to go. And when things fall apart, you have something to grasp onto. And that's probably what I feel about practicing It's not necessarily to be perfect. It's a way to help you recover when things fall apart.
Oh,
And that's what
wait,
builds
wait,
confidence.
that is awesome. I have heard this a couple of times already this week. And so say that again. So practice.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay.
No, it's great.
Okay. Practicing to me is not about being the perfect singer. It's about finding a way and strategies to help you when things don't go the way you planned.
Mm,
I don't think that's exactly what I said before, but
it did.
that has helped me in the long run. And going through, a college, 3 college degrees, I've had a lot of experience singing in front of people, and I've had a lot of experiences, where I could have walked away feeling like a failure because I missed a couple of words, or I didn't quite have the right high note or the right breath support, those things that fall apart under anxiety. I feel like, going through so many of those concerts and recitals are helpful in gaining that experience.
Mhm.
So, as you keep doing that, it gets better and better, and you're able to master those times when maybe things might not go as well as you want.
Well, and what you're dealing with, and I love you because, as a vocal artist, you have to perform, and it's all on
Yes.
you. It's not like, okay, I'm part of the team and I can just do my part and they'll do theirs. All eyes are on you.
Right.
Right, when you get up and do a recital, and like you said, the practice is what makes you feel like, okay, if I don't do it this way, I have something to kind of help me as a crutch to go, okay, but I've practiced this so many times that it's going to be like a memory, right? And that memory muscle that you're stretching.
Right. I think, yeah, I to go along with that, I feel like to help with that fear, that I've talked about how practice is so important, but also just being positive and believing in yourself. I think that's another strategy that you can use. Like, I can remember a time when I was working on my doctorate and I had a recital and I didn't get to go through the whole program. And I was very upset about that. This was the night before. And so the day of my recital, the particular teacher I had said, well, why don't you just walk around and, do some pacing and try to relax and get into the mood. Well, I'm not that way. I need peace and quiet. And I went ahead, I'm an obeyer. I do it, I mean, not always, but I try to do what people tell me to do and to better myself. And so I did that. I paced around, 20 minutes, 30 minutes before my recital, and I was just a mess on the inside.
Mhm.
And I realized at that point, I have to do what's best for me to overcome and, be the best that I can be and not follow other people's footsteps. And so that was a very good lesson to learn. And it stretched me because I realized I can't really follow. I mean, I want to be a good person who obeys and does the best that I can do, but I need to do things for me so that I can be my best. I don't know if that makes sense, but okay, did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that is one of the questions, like, how do you not compare yourself to others when you're trying to perform at your highest, right, your highest quality, and you go out there and it's all you. And so you have this confidence, you've practiced, you're ready to go, you're on stage. And what do you think about in your mind as you're performing?
Yeah, if you get into that habit of comparing yourself, you're just going to fall into all of your shortcomings. And I feel like I have to avoid that. I mean, I am who I am. I can't help if my voice is, a light soprano. That's what I was given. And so I have to be the best that I can be within the confines of what was given to me. And for me, that is very important as a singer, as a teacher. You're going to meet a lot of people in your lives, and someone invariably is going to be better than you. And that's where you have to say, well, I'm going to practice a little bit more because I want to be better. And I learned that, so I was thinking earlier today, I learned that aspect when I was in high school
Mhm.
because all I wanted to do was go into the musical auditions and I wanted to get a role. I would be in the chorus. I was in the chorus many times, but I really wanted a role. And so I begged my parents for lessons, and I had to wait for a while because I was on the waiting list and I didn't want to be. And I finally got into, voice lessons with one of the top teachers in Indianapolis, and I I think that really helped shape me in learning that there will be people better than me, but if I can be the best that I can,
Mm.
and if I can share with others my best voice and everything that I've learned, then I'm going to be happy. And that's, you know, I don't want to be following someone else's footsteps, like, pacing before my recitals when I needed to sit down and do more meditation and, self-focus.
Mhm.
I'd rather know what I need to be successful and not worry about what other people think of me.
Mm, what a lesson. Girl, wisdom drop. That is so true though, because so many people are saying, here they've gone through this pandemic and they're at home and they've had to like redo their whole life. If their kids are at home, if they're having to work from home like they've never done before, and they're comparing themselves to every other neighbor, to every other family member, like, how are you getting through this? What are you doing? What are you doing in replacement of, or, just that whole competition thing. It's like,
Right.
let it go and be who your family is designed to be together, and don't worry about the rest of the world. And so letting that voice inside of you, right, be your protection and be your guide. And
Right.
that's what
Instead of those negative judges that, there are inner judges, and I think, we learn those in some ways. I mean, I love education. I value it. I'm so grateful for all of the voice lessons I've ever had in my life, but there are inner judges that go along with becoming better at things. Oh, that person's voice is extremely beautiful and so much more powerful than my voice, or wow, I can't believe how high she can sing and I'm struggling to get that A flat. It's you just have to know where you are and be confident and not compare yourself to others.
Mhm. Talk to me about your mentors. I think mentorship is so important as we kind of all evolve, and we're looking for people to say, okay, those are the people that really taught me the lessons to
Right.
remember.
Well, I'd have to say, probably the strongest mentors were my choir teachers. Um, I think they helped shaped my life as a musician. I think of my middle school teachers and my high school directors. This past year I had a grant for a recital through the Indiana Arts Commission,
Mhm.
and they all of my choir teachers came to my recitals to support me. And that was like 30 plus years ago. And how amazing that felt to me to be able to say, you know, hey, I'd love for you to come. I didn't think they would attend. I mean, but they did. And wow, that really hit me hard and made me realize, that's what teaching and giving and caring, that's what that's all about, is enabling people to grow and to support them in, all of their successes.
Mhm. And that's amazing because you think of, all those years that have passed, like you said, 30 years. But it's when you touch somebody like you do, and that's your spirit, because you just have that naturally. You see your big smile and you go, "Oh, Carrie, come over here, sit down, let's have a cup of coffee, let's catch up." And you're the same Karri York that you've been
With experience now.
forever, right? But no,
Right.
it's great because it's kinda you're that vulnerable person that lets people in, so you're the real person. You never hold a shield or, some kind of an armor around you to go, "Okay, well, I'm this person because I'm at this education level, and I've done these things in my life." You're the person that people can say, "Teach me, Carrie, teach me what you've learned and help me on the journey." And be silly and fun and make me remember it. And I think
Right.
that's your gift, because I remember you from the train at McDonald's. And what fun that was.
It was fun. I was thinking how awesome that job was. I
Right.
felt like, I mean, as I was thinking about, being a clown in a train car at McDonald's, I mean, that's kind of like a dream job. I mean, think about it. You get to dress up like a clown, and you get to entertain kids. Well, at that time, I guess we entertained kids at birthday parties, and
Exactly.
we played games, and we had fun, and there was laughter. And then we got paid to do all that. Now it was only like $2.85, but still we got paid. And then we got to eat food. I mean, they were like the best quarter pounders with cheese I ever ate. And the ice cream, the cake was, it was divine. I looked forward to eating the cake all the time. And all in the same setting, we're learning how to be a leader and to be responsible for, multiple people in a birthday setting, party setting.
I'm telling you,
So
every day was a party, right?
it was, yes, it was. And I think I carried that with me. I think I've carried that with me my entire adulthood life. Because, I never felt like I wanted to, or let's see, I never felt like I had a job where I was, totally unhappy. There might have been a couple of years where that has been, but I always remember when I start feeling tired, or, like, is there ever going to be a time when I can get some rest? I remember back in those days when I worked as a clown at, whatever minimum wage was, and how happy I was. And I always think, life is difficult. It can be miserable. It can be hurtful. It can be damaging to your spirits, but somehow you have to find a little bit of joy in your life and fun, because if you don't have those, you're not going to rejuvenate, and then you're just going to get miserable and bitter on the inside. And I guess that's where I always look back at that time in my life and think of how important that job at McDonald's was in my current life.
Well, exactly, because you think, "Oh my gosh, how did I just go in there and not have any fear about learning magic tricks?" And okay, we did have to learn the magic tricks. It wasn't real magic.
Yeah. Yes, you're right.
But
I don't remember any of them though. But
oh, the coloring book, come on. And the needle through the balloon. And
oh yeah, I do remember some of those things. Okay.
those were awesome. And Sheila Martin, I'm surprised she's not on here, because she
Right.
absolutely hysterical. And Aaron Voiles, and oh my gosh, I just
Debbie DeLito is in there.
yes.
Yeah.
And we had so much fun. And we had the Battle of the Bands in the summertime on that corner, if people remember, and going over to the old farmhouse and being in the parades with all the costumes. I remember I was Hamburglar
Right.
one year, I think, but that really taught us so many skills. And I think all the jobs today, if I was 16 years old and I thought, oh, what job would I go get? There is no job that compares to what we did. It was so much fun.
It was a blast. And really I thank you, because I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, that you are the reason I got that job. I went home to my mom and I said, "Mom, I found my job. I want to be a clown." And so she was like, "Okay, yeah."
Thanks, Paula.
But you mentioned something earlier, not to backtrack here. Hold on, my earplug just fell out. You mentioned something earlier about being real and working with people in a real way. And I think that's something too that I've always valued is, when you are working with people of all ages, of all experience levels. And in my voice teaching career, I've worked with beginning students, like little elementary kids, and all the way up to 75-year-olds, in between a lot of undergraduates and graduate students, as well as people that are just, in their retirement and wanting to learn new things. So you kind of have to be real. You can't, at least for me, I have to be real, because I have to take that person where they are in their life and just, continue their journey so that they can grow. And if they don't trust me and feel comfortable around me, then the progress of singing won't take place as well.
Oh, okay. So I want you to go back to that. So when you say meeting, this is a big leadership lesson, right? When we say meeting people where they are. So when
Right.
you have a student that comes in and they see themselves as something that you don't believe that they're really at that level yet, the steps that you have to take somebody through to say, okay, we need to start here, and giving them that confidence so that they can build that confidence to get to where they see themselves, and to help them, right? To mentor them and foster them in that belief. And many times we talk about in leadership is we have to borrow somebody else's belief until we can believe it ourselves. And I think this is a primary lesson in, okay, I'm coming to you because I want to be great. Now, I could never be a singer. I know that. I don't have the lung capacity.
I might disagree with that.
I mean, I can talk, but but I can't even blow up a balloon.
I don't think I can either, now that I think about it.
But I love this subject because so many people say, I wouldn't be able to do this. And I've got a guy that I'm following now, Scott somebody, on YouTube and LinkedIn and Facebook. And he says, I teach adults how to play the piano that never thought they could. They're dusting off this old piano all the time. And I'm going to teach you the steps to do this. And then you can become great and you can learn how to play chords. And I think this is Karri York taking somebody in that says, I want to start to develop myself. I've never tried it. I've always wanted to develop my vocal talent. And I sing in the shower. And so maybe there's something to that if you take lessons, right? And so that process of helping people become better and become great at something that they're passionate about, that leading them through that, Karri, that's just got to be an amazing experience for you.
It's a wonderful journey, and I can honestly say, I've probably taught many beginners, and it is wonderful to see them grow. But it also requires on a teacher's part a lot of patience and strategies, to help them get to where they need to be. I can think of several instances where, well, even one instance now, which is probably a very important one to me. A retiree who's a doctor, and he has never sung before until last year. And, it's something that, singing is not something you can learn in just 2 or 3 lessons. To me, it's like a lifelong journey. I still take lessons and I love my lessons. And, I don't want to stop, especially now that I'm in my 50s, but I think of people that are in their older years and they're wanting to venture out, from their normal career to learn how to sing. And I think the first thing out of, my mouth is, hey, just realize that this takes time and takes patience, and I'm with you. If you're in this, and then I'm with you, and we can work out, however your voice is now, will work all the little things out and help you to be a better singer.
Mm-hmm. And I think, the people that are watching this that are like, I would love to do that. I just put your email up here. So you're going to get blasted with email.
Put my website as well.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Pathwaysofmusic.com.
Okay. I'll be typing this. Pathways.
Pathways.
Pathways. Pathways of Music.
.com.
Okay. Let's see if I spelled it right. Now it's the age of don't put the www on there. It's like, yeah, I am doing that.
Well, that's good to know.
Yes. So, okay, let's see. There we go.
That's it.
Pathways of Music. Okay, so if you're watching this and you want to learn how to sing and you want to just take some voice lessons, this is the girl that's going to help you. So I really encourage you, call her, email her, get on this website and find her, because you will have the most enjoyment that you've ever thought you could have. Because she's also got another hidden secret. So we've talked about clowning around, She is a vocal instructor and a doctorate, right? So she's very talented and she can help you with all the strategies on the techniques. And so the foundation for building your voice. And she's a hula hoop challenging champion. Now, for those of you that have been watching my Facebook and you've seen this girl with praying hands and doing the hula hoop, and she's got a parrot, like, she's just off the wall interesting. And so I had some fun and I thought, well, I'll challenge people. And I was walking through Meijer the other night, grocery shopping, and there was this hula hoop in the freezer section. Seriously. And I thought, okay, I can't pass this up.
That's awesome.
Now I'm no good. I can get it to spin one time, maybe. I do not have the technique down. I have not practiced it. I used to do it a long time ago. But then I see Karri. And when you see her post, she is doing all these crazy things like, I would say yoga poses with her hula hoop.
Yeah, with the hands and the
Yes. So tell me, this is really, really fun. Tell me why hula hooping. You've got your ukulele sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of fun.
So all right. So
this journey.
Okay, the hula hoop started about 10 years ago. And, I think in life we go through a lot of ups and downs. And I found the hula hoop in one of the down parts of my life. And it was kind of interesting because at the time I was kind of going through a transition from one of my jobs and thinking about moving to a different job. And during that time frame, I was also completing my doctorate and working full time and teaching a lot. And so anyway, I was a little stressed out and I thought, well, maybe this is something outside of music that would just rejuvenate me. And so it ended up that I got certified. I didn't tell anyone. I was like, I don't know that I want to tell anyone yet because, hula hooping is not really popular in the Midwest. Maybe in California, yes, but not Indiana. And so anyway, I found this company called, I think it's called Hoopnautica. I don't know if it's still in business or it might be under a different name. But I found this certification program and I actually got certified in 2 levels and it was so fun. It was like something I'd never done. And so anyway, through this job transition that was pretty devastating, I ended up going to another job and that didn't work out either. And I was feeling very, toxic on the inside. And anyway, I started hooping with a couple, like 10 people. I was teaching 2 classes of about 10 people each during that time frame. And it really helped, just kind of rejuvenate my spirits because they were so down. And then once I got through that transition of a job change that, was pretty difficult, things started looking up and I kind of let it go. And then, I take it out. This was probably 10 years ago. And then up until 2013 is when I let it go. Oh, did I lose? Oh, yeah. That was the best one. And I had to put the tie-dye pants. My neighbors were just like, what is she doing? But anyway, during the pandemic crisis is when I pulled the hula hoop back out. And it was because I was really sick beforehand. I had gotten influenza A and I couldn't get out of bed for almost like nearly 2 weeks. And then that 3rd week was really hard too. And I couldn't sing. I couldn't practice. And I was like, well, I can't sing. That's pretty devastating. I can't get out of bed. That's even more devastating. So why not like go downstairs, find one of my hula hoops and see if I can increase my energy. And so I just started hooping like 2 and 3 minutes at a time. And it was so hard because I kept getting dizzy and a lot of hula hooping is turning around. and spinning. So I would be spinning and my head would be spinning and I'd literally almost fall down. But after about a week, I started realizing, oh, I've hula hooped for 10 minutes without getting, a little like completely dizzy, just a little bit dizzy. And then I thought, it is the pandemic crisis. People are fearful and stressed out. And I'm feeling the same thing because, I'm sick and I've had to cancel all my students and everything's moving online. And so I just started thinking maybe I'll just post something because it's something people wouldn't expect. And I did, and I was a nervous wreck. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I have like 500 views. Now, I know in the grand scheme of life that's not so many, but still, that was more than I expected. And people were saying, hey, we need music with that. Hey, we need you to add the ukulele with it. And hey, how about putting that bird on your shoulder? So I thought, well, this is kind of fun. And it just boosted my energy. And for the fact that the fear and anxiety was happening from the pandemic crisis and still is pretty stressful. I just thought, why not? What do I have to lose? I mean, maybe someone out there will enjoy this crazy hula hoop rage.
Well, I love this. So you got certified as a hula hooper. Is that what they call
I'm
it?
probably not certified now because I didn't really keep up with my, my education there.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I was a little afraid to tell people. I mean, the few people that I did tell, we had a blast in our classes. I mean, I taught them how to waist hoop, and we learned how to, waist hoop, hip hoop, hoop on the hips, and then spin them up in the air. I mean, we had a lot of different, moves that you could learn.
That is awesome. Here's what you've taught us, right? There's always something to smile about. There's always joy to create in your life. When you're stressed out, get creative, first of all, and find something that maybe you have to teach yourself. You have to learn a new skill. You have to learn a new task. You have to learn something that it just feels like I should go do that.
Right.
Because
it's funny that you say that because even a very good friend of mine today, we were recording for our church services and we decided to wear our, 1 year for Christmas, I bought her and then I bought myself a shirt that says, "Today I choose joy." And, we were talking about, hey, today, it's kind of it's been a stressful weekend. And, even with all the stresses in the world and all the fear that we might feel, we can still choose joy in our lives. And I think that's great that you just mentioned that.
Yeah, well, it's so true. And it's on my heart because so many people that I'm interviewing recently, especially during COVID-19, I've had somebody from Italy, Greg Storch, has been giving us updates on what they're doing through the pandemic because it started there first. And so we're all like, okay, we're gauging. What are you doing? How should we be expecting this to last? And how many more weeks do we have to wear a mask? And so, what they're learning is you just still have to protect yourself. And you still have to find those ways to find energy within your own homes to get through this. And that family network is so important now more than ever. And so finding that inner peace that you're talking about is just, again, here we're 10 weeks into this. And if you haven't figured out a strategy and you're going crazy, listen to this interview.
Well, I mean, you have to be intentional. Like, you can let everything in life get you down and make you bitter and miserable. I mean, let's face it, we could all be miserable right now, but you have to be intentional in creating a sense of happiness and you have to practice it. I mean, it's not something that's just, oh, I'm so happy. No, it's you have to choose to be happy and to find joy and to find gratefulness in those things in life that are good so that when you do have the bad things in life, you can manage it.
Ugh. Man, I love you. This was so much fun. All right, I'm putting pathways of music. If you need a voice teacher, if you need to find your voice, that's how I'm going to put this. If you need to find your joy through your voice, you need to contact Karri and have some fun. Do
I
something
appreciate that.
different, right? So you
Right.
can even do this online. Like we're doing Zoom and right now we're doing StreamYard, but there are so many ways to connect. If you have any kind of idea in your mind that you've ever wanted to be a singer, now's the time. You can get your karaoke machine out and Karri can help you through it.
There you go. And a lot of people do.
That's right. But this has been great. And I really appreciate you. I wanted to celebrate you because I've just been watching you and trying to get to your events and things that you're doing. And I'm just so proud of you. And it's great to say, I knew you when. I knew you when you were a clown.
Hey, and I still am in a way. So a quiet win, quiet clown.
A quiet one. No, this is amazing. And so I really just enjoy watching and celebrating people. And you're one of those. So I want people to connect to you. I want to really thank you for spending some time with us tonight because I know it's busy. Even though we're at home, we're all still trying to get everything else done to try to, manage our lives. So I appreciate your time tonight. And I want to remind people, even though this is a pandemic, and even though maybe you're watching this after the pandemic, hopefully that's soon. But if you're watching this and you say, I'm curious about this, contact Karri right now. Go to pathwaysofmusic.com and find her. And then her email, I'm going to show you this, is york.karri, Karri @gmail.com, and blow it up for her. And go over and find her on her Facebook page, or I've got this on the Everyday Leaders page too. And I'm going to show this again because her video, I don't think I can play it from there. I think I have to go back here. Hold on. I'll be right here. I got to show this. Stop sharing, share the screen. Let's go. Because it's great. And if you haven't seen this video, kids, the hula hoop certified girl that's challenging all of us to go learn to do something new and fun and be silly in your life, because that's the only way we're going to get through all of this. And so remember that it's really, really important that we just have fun and don't take ourselves so serious and just enjoy the journey. So thank you very much, Karri, for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Have a great night.
You too. Take care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.